What is going on, everyone? It's Martin Sports here, and today we are going to be talking about the Premier League prediction table. A lot of YouTubers have been doing this, so I'm thinking, why should I not do it? So we're going to be going from 20th to 1st, and it was very difficult for me to choose which teams were going to be 20th to 1st, except for 20th, because I think most people know who that is. But other than that, we're gonna actually get straight into the video, not to waste any time. I don't want to spend too long on this video, so let's get straight into it. At 20th, I have put down Hull City. Hull City this season haven't made any real big Premier League signings. About 7 key players injured for them, so that means they only have like 12 fit starting players that can come in and do a job. And on the other side as well, they've let Steve Bruce go. Steve Bruce left because their owner doesn't want to spend any money, so they only have 2 recognized strikers in Abel Hernandez and Diomande. I'm sure Abel Hernandez can do a job, but Diomande as another striker doesn't seem too well. They should have kept Shona Aluko, which they didn't. They sold him to Fulham. So Hull City, with the lack of players they have and the lack of squad depth, I believe they'll finish 20th. 19th have gone from Burnley. This when you have Damari Gray up front, he can be your kind of Callum Wilson that came from the Championship for Bournemouth, or a Danny Ings that when he played for Burnley before from Championship, come up and they score goals for you, and Damari Gray is exactly that. But Burnley, again, they haven't really strengthened with Premier League signing. I know they've signed Joe Flanagan from Liverpool on the season-long loan. He's been injured for a long time, so he's probably not match fit just yet. And they've also signed Goodmaster. He was a part of that Iceland team as well. But apart from that, they haven't really signed any big name Premier League signing to really strengthen. But Sean Dyche did say that they do expect 3 to 4 signings before the end of the transfer window. I expect them to sign 3 to 4 signings, or they will be finishing 19th. They obviously could finish higher if they do have a solid season. They have to keep their best player, which for me is Michael Keane. They've already let a lot of experience go, and they need to sign back more experienced Premier League players. 18th is West Brom. West Brom, over the last few seasons, they've been a club that have tried to go forwards, but they're keeping themselves its stability. That's what they do. It's just to stay in the league, and they somehow get to the 40 point mark one way or another. And they had a minus 14 goal difference last season, minus 14, and they still managed to finish, I believe, 14th in the league or 13th or something like that in the league last season. But this season, I do feel that the new owners of West Brom could sack Tony Pulis quite early on. Besido Berahino as well wants to leave the club, so he's probably not going to play for them at the end of the window. And they were trying to sign Diafra Sakho before they let Sadio Mane go, but they did get a failed medical, and that was very frustrating for West Brom of Albion. They've only signed in Matty Phillips, who will get you goals and assists this season, about maybe 7 to 8 goals and 7 to 8 assists as well, which will be very, very good for West Brom. But I feel like they just and this year teams will find it easier to break them down, as we do have the likes of Pep Guardiola, Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte, and managers like that are tactically aware and smart. And 16th, I have gone for Sunderland. Defensively is very good, and you know that he doesn't really have to focus on that attack, because he knows Jermaine Defoe will get them goals. Wabi Kazri can be that main creative spark in midfield, and their wingers as well, like Jermaine Lens, can do a job as well. 15th, now I'll go for Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough this summer have been very active. I think they've been the most active club in the league this season. They've signed Victor Valdez and Brad Guzan as their 2 first and second team keepers. They've now strengthened their backline with Berregan, Espinoza, as well as giving a few young players a go as well. And they've also signed De Royne from, I believe, Sampdoria in their CDM position, which is very good. That guy seems to be full of life and can run around a lot. Up front, they signed Alvaro Negredo, which is a very, very good signing for them. He scored 9 goals in 32 appearances in the Premier League in the games he played, and 3 assists. We're going on to 14th, and I've got Swansea City. Swansea City again are a very good team. It could go either way from there. What they lack though is consistency, and that's the same with a few other teams in front of them in the league. They do need a centre back because Ashley Williams is gone. They need one more striker or another winger because Andre Ayew has left. They already brought in Fernando Llorente and Baston, and Baston scored 17 La Liga goals last season while he was a loan at Eibar from Atletico Madrid. So they obviously have brought in a good experienced players, but they still have to bring in a new centre back to replace Ashley Williams with the character that he brings. His main man for me has to be Gylfi Sigurdsson. Scored near, I believe, he was in the top 3 guys to score scored about 10 or 12 goals in the league in 2016, which is a lot of goals just in 2. So 13th, I've gone for Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace again, consistency is what they need. It could be an up or down season with Crystal Palace. Last season at the start they were brilliant, beating Chelsea, beating Newcastle, beating the big teams, up to the point that in 2016 they only won about 2 games in 2016, which is very poor, and because of the start to the season, that's what kept them up in the end. If they continue with that poor form, they probably would have got relegated for me, Crystal Palace. But they strengthened a lot with Steve Mandanda, who is nearly a world-class keeper at the age of 31 or 32. They also signed James Tompkins to replace Hangeland and Paul McCarthy, and they've signed Andros Townsend, which for me is a very good signing. But they still need a striker, and I believe Saido Berahino could be that man, or Benteke, and to bring in Umar Niasse as maybe a second striker or a third, because they still have Connor Wickham in their team. They will have a very solid team, and they could compete for a Europa League spot. In 13th spot, I've gone for Southampton. Southampton now, they don't struggle for consistency. You see them win 2 games, maybe draw 1, then lose 1, then win the 2 games again. That's a consistent performance from them. They're doing things on a consistent basis, and that's what Southampton are good at. But the problem with them is that they have to sell and adapt every single season. But Southampton, again, it's just like that. They could finish in Europa League spot because they do know how to sell and adapt, and they always finish higher every single season. It will be hard to repeat last season's form because they will be playing in Europa League this. Bournemouth signed a lot of experienced players last season. Most of those experienced players did get injured, yet they still managed to survive quite comfortably. They have a really good squad depth now, with the likes of Ibe coming into the team, Liam Musso, who else? Hinman and Cook as well, and that's only a few. I believe they signed a few more players as well. They have a very good squad depth in their team overall, and I do feel they can build. If they can build a mid-table team this season, the next season they can push on and go for something even higher and better, because Bournemouth, they have a very solid team. Their style of play is very attacking. They know how to get goals, and that suits a lot of their players. Okay, 10th, I've gone for Stoke City. The 3 previous seasons they finished 9th. Three seasons in a row they finished 9th, but this season for me they'll finish 10th. Consistency is what they struggle with. They have a world-class player in Shaqiri, in my opinion. 2 top ballers in Arnautovic and Bojan. 2 good, really good experience. Well, one at very experienced CDM in Joe Allen, and another one in Whelan, as well as Mbola, who can be a revelation for them this season as well. Stoke City just need that consistency, maybe even to bring in a top striker. They're looking to bring in Saido Berahino as well. Do forget you about 5 to 8 goals, but he won't get you 10 to 20 goals, and that's what you need from a top striker if you want to get into one of those European places, and that's what Stoke are lacking at the moment. 9th, I'm going for Everton. Everton could definitely finish higher this season. For me, they won't struggle on their consistency this season. Why? Because they have Ronald Koeman, and Ronald Koeman knows how to strengthen, and he knows where to strengthen. He's brought in Idrissa Gueye, who prior to Conte was the 2nd best CDM in the league last season, surprisingly. About to bring in Yannick Bolasie for 30 million from Crystal Palace, which is a brilliant signing. And they're also They've also brought in Ashley Williams, and they're looking to bring in Kone. Ashley Williams is probably the bargain of the season, and I do feel that Everton can have a very solid season. If Lukaku stays, they probably will push on. It was good to sell John Stones to get 47 million, and then to strengthen with that kind of West Ham for me are going to finish 8th. I like West Ham a lot. They strengthened a lot this summer with just a few with Caleri and Andre Ayew, Tor and Fuguli. That's just a few. I do think Nordvide will be one of their best players this season in CDM position, just to protect that back line. But they still need that top class striker. Caleri is a good striker, but not top class. Andy Carroll can do the job for you if you want him up there. And then Valencia he's just dropped off a lot. And the Afasako, see his goal tally has gotten lower each season, and he obviously wants to leave West Ham. So they need that top class striker, and they also need to strengthen in the back. Obviously, Dimitri Payet will obviously be their standout player. He's head and shoulders above the rest. Lanzini can do a job in that centre attacking midfield. He was one of their best players as well. Fuguli and Toro coming in, as well as Andre Ayew, will bring a lot of depth to their squad, and they should be doing very well in the league. Leicester City, for me, are going to finish 7th. I don't think they will mind that. It's the Champions League. It will take a bit of hindering, not that much, a bit, because you don't know if they'll go far or they won't go that far, because Leicester are a very unpredictable team. But but the thing is, there's a lot of good teams in front of them again, and 7th place for me won't disappoint them at all, or won't disappoint a lot of fans too much. They have Vardy, who will get goals from them. Unfortunately, they sold N'Golo Kante to Chelsea, and they signed Mendy as a backup for Conte, and it's a very good signing, to be honest. They signed a good young player in Kapushka, and they've also strengthened in the back line as well. So Leicester probably for me will have a very, very solid season. Arsenal for me are 6th. And it's quite strange why I'm putting Arsenal 6, because they always finish in the top 4. But this season, it's not really that they haven't strengthened, it's just that they haven't strengthened. We all know that. They signed Xhaka, who brings a different mentality to the squad they do have, but that's the problem. Their mentality is all wrong, and they need a squad with good mentality. They need to just change the mentality, and that comes all down to the manager. The manager is supposed to manage his players. And if they're taking pictures on Instagram all the time or doing whatever they want, he can manage them the way he wants them to. But Arsenal, they should sign another centre back. They are in talks with Mustafi. And they're looking to sign Lacazette. They're in talks with Leon as well over a signing for Lacazette. So that means they're looking to sign two more players, and it's the players that they do need to win the league, or just to get them into that Champions League spot. But their mentality has to change, and that's why I put them 6th. 5th, I am going for Liverpool. Liverpool are a very, very solid team now. They have the players that Jurgen Klopp wanted a season ago. They have them Wijnaldum and Mane, just to name 2. Obviously, Lazar Markovic coming back on loan, which is a very, very good addition to the squad. And Clavin in defense, so they have a no-nonsense defender in Clavin, and Mane offers something different. And Wijnaldum, we all know he can get goals from midfield, and obviously with a player like Daniel Sturridge up front, you expect a very solid season from them. They could finish 4th or 3rd or 2nd or 1st. It just depends. Last season again they were inconsistent, but this season I feel that Jurgen Klopp will take that out of their system, and they will be a very solid squad. Spurs now for me, I believe they'll finish 4th place. They haven't strengthened too much. We've only brought in Wanyama and Janssen, but Spurs again a very, very strong, solid side, and they needed to strengthen the least out of every single squad. But they still need for me to bring in another centre back, because I think they have 3 really solid centre backs, but just to have one centre back that's like young, upcoming centre back would be very, very good. For them development, just in case a player like Vertonghen gets injured, or Alderweireld or Wimmer gets injured. So Spurs, they have a very solid team. You know, Harry Kane will get you goals. Dele Alli will score goals from his field. Christian Eriksen will score goals from his field. Lamela as well will score goals from midfield. And you got Dyer, Wanyama, and Dembele, who know how to do the defensive work. And Dembele will definitely score you goals from midfield. So they have a lot of goal scorers and a lot of defensive quality as well. So third now I've gone for my team, Chelsea. Chelsea, we strengthened, but we haven't strengthened enough. They've only brought in 2 new additions, N'Golo Kanté, which is a brilliant signing for me. He can cover every single plane of grass on that pitch, and he with Batshuayi we might be bringing in Lukaku as well. So I'm not sure, we could be playing a 4-2-4 or a 4-5-1. It depends on what games we're playing in. So Lukaku would be a very good addition, and Michy Batshuayi as a second striker or an impact sub will be very good as well. For me, we still need another centre back because the centre back position is looking a bit strange. We need another left back. I'm thinking of a young player like an Andrew Robertson from Hull City who can do the job. We all know he can do the job. He's young and we can give him that chance. And first place this season between the two Manchester clubs is Manchester City. No, City tricked you there. It's going to be City for me that wins the league. I don't really know why. Man United, I'm going to go touch on them first. I don't know why Man United might come second, but I don't know why Man City might come first as well. Man United, very solid team, just signed Pogba, hashtag Pogba, Ibrahimovic as well. He's a top player, world class player, sorry. Mkhitaryan, another world class player. So 3 world class player and 1 very good player in Bali. The thing with the partnership of Bali and Blind, or Bali and Smalling, or Smalling and Blind, will work very well in my opinion. So Manchester United have a very solid squad. It's gonna bring a lot more penetration in that final third, and for that reason they could come first, but I put them second because Man City for me are first. And Man City, they have a very solid team, as we all know that they had the best team in the league last season, yet they certainly underachieved last season, only about getting 4th place with a win against Swansea on the last day of the season. They've obviously strengthened with the like of Sané, Nolito and Gundogan. Those are 3 very important players. Sané can be a very good impact player. Nolito, I believe, will start this season, and Gundogan, when he gets back from his injury, can be the perfect player for Pep Guardiola. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.